Our resident football expert, Matt Holland, joins me now from Hong Kong to set up the clash of the titans. European blue bloods, Real Madrid versus the team desperate to be seated at the high table of European football. Matt, this is the Champions League, and Champions League fixtures do not come more bigger than this one. Throw in the scrap over Mbappe last summer, and it's much more than a quarter-final berth that's at stake.
Yes, I think it's going to be the biggest tie, isn't it? With the most eyes on. There's obviously other ties that we'll speak about, but you know, just everything surrounding Mbappe, the chase of the last couple of seasons. You know, let's not forget that obviously PSG have signed Messi, you know, a former and probably still a Barcelona hero in the eyes of many. You know, all eyes will come down to this.
You mentioned Messi, but do you think the stakes are higher for PSG than Real? This is because they convinced Messi to join in September last year. They're so desperate to win the Champions League.
Yeah, both teams are also playing, you know, they're not playing the best football domestically, but they're riding high at the top of their respective leagues. And obviously there's a lot of firepower, you know, but for PSG, you know, if you look at the top four players that they have, Messi, Neymar, obviously coming back, Mbappe, and we cannot forget Angel Di Maria, who's had a remarkable career, and achieved so much. You know, this is going to be some tie, and not really sure which way it's going to go.
Matty, there's also the sword hanging over the head of Mauricio Pochettino. PSG owners are like Roman Abramovich. They want the big titles, not just the Ligue 1, which PSG seem to win almost every other year. Pochettino has been linked to Manchester United as well, and perhaps we don't see him surviving the end of the season if he doesn't go on and win this title.
No, I don't think he will also. You know, when you sign Messi, you know, it comes with automatic KPIs, I guess, of you win or you've not achieved. And there are obviously many aspects to winning competitions, even winning individual games. But, you know, some people are not so forgiving, especially when the outlay has been so much. And I think, you know, there's always been that linger of him taking other jobs. PSG is still a huge job, but people always look at it that they still compete in League One. And that's not to the same level of La Liga and the Premier League and probably the Bundesliga, in all honesty. So, you know, for that reason, if he doesn't win it, I think that he could be well packing his bags.
He's got another big call to make, doesn't he? You know, you throw Neymar in alongside Messi and Mbappe and perhaps ensure that the other 8 players stay compact while these 3 go and do the damage? Yeah,
I mean, when 4 of them have been on the pitch, it's quite, the chemistry between the 4 of them is not so good. I think that they're better off going with 3 out of the 4, trying to play maybe with 1 sitter and 2 sort of number 8s, if you like. I think that'll be much better for them, be a bit more aggressive, because of course they will be devastating when they get the ball in 1v1 areas. But they obviously don't work as hard. You know, none of those 4 work very hard in the front line. So, you know, Madrid will be able to come out a lot, and obviously they have to try and stop maybe Toni Kroos trying to control the game with the ability that he has.
You know, Matt, there's a similar conundrum at Real as well, because you can win La Liga, but Florentino Perez does not like his club knocked out in the second round of the Champions League. So there's going to be massive pressure on Carlo Ancelotti as well.
Yeah, and I think that's why probably he went back. You know, he did a fantastic job last time round. It's not always the same the second time, but he is a manager that is well known, or well renowned rather, for his ability to manage, you know, top players. He doesn't actually always mean coaching them on the pitch, but it's just making sure that they're operating in the right way. And sometimes that's also just getting through certain games. You can't always win by high margins. Gareth Bale has obviously got another niggling out, I think, but, you know, he has come back in the last week or so because of other reasons. So, you know, he can't go out of this competition. Again, for them, they have to win it. And that's pretty much the same, isn't it, for the big 6 to 8 clubs in Europe? They all have to win it. There's no just semi-finals or finals. It's not acceptable.
Yes, but there's also other issues, aren't there, Matty? Because Real haven't exactly been at their dominant best over the last few weeks, and that sort of coincided with Benzema being injured. That's been a massive blow, and we still don't know if he's going to start this one.
Yeah, Benzema, do you know, everybody in the world, they know how much of a top player he is, but he's been at Madrid for so long. He's obviously missed a large proportion of national team games because of the reasons that we don't need to go into today. But he's arguably the best centre-forward in the world. You know, when he plays, he scores, his runs is fantastic. He's a real true number 9. So it's a big miss for him. Vinicius, as you said, you know, he was recalled quickly from the Brazil team. I think he played a part in the next game, which was within 24 hours after his last game for Brazil. So, you know, he's not going to be at his freshest, shall we say. But big game players, top players in the world, they only need a moment to change something. And this could very well be that type of game.
Okay, Ancelotti is a veteran, a multiple-time Champions League winner, and there is talk that he could spring a surprise and start Gareth Bale up top. You mentioned that, and he did that over the weekend as well in La Liga. Where do you think this game is going to be won, Matty?
For me, Bale, of course, he can play as a number 9. You know, he's done it for the national team, and of course, him and another player has just left his club, Juventus, Aaron Ramsey. They're both capable of doing things and combining at the top end of the pitch. But just focusing on Madrid, for me, I don't think Bale will be contribute to sort of a match-winning performance. I think it will be very, very cautious. You know, Madrid will probably try to control. I think that Madrid will have more possession of the ball. They will come out far easier because they will try to pass through into midfield and try to break lines. But again, I'm not going to put anything against PSG's attack. Those 4 players, you also got Icardi to come off the bench. You know, fantastic players. I think PSG may hit them and hurt them somewhere on the counter during, for sure, this leg, but potentially over 2 legs. That could be the devastating blow for me.
Okay, I also got to ask you a question on the other game. It won't be fair. Pep Guardiola doesn't agree, but Manchester City are perhaps playing the best football across the world at the moment. What can Sporting do, Matt, to sort of stop the bleeding?
You know, what a question. I mean, not $1 million question, it's $1 billion question, because, you know, how to play against Man City, you've got to be prepared. You've got to execute and look for that slight edge. You might have a set play, but they've been really good at them this year also. You know, but you just got to go into it and be as professional as you can. You've got to try to eradicate any... It's always possible to make mistakes, but don't really make such easy mistakes. If you try and contain them and drop off, they'll pass you to death. You know, you got to get in their faces, basically, and maybe go for punch at times, even though, you know, they have much better quality in every position and probably sitting on the bench. But Sporting are no mugs. You know, they've tended to play with a different shape, a sort of a 3-4-3. They might go with a diamond midfield. They might change it a little bit. But they're always in the competition. You know, due credit, they come through the group stage, and of course, you know, they're at home first, so they don't need to get picked off too easy with Man City with a counter. They're not really great at that, so you know, it's just finding that little niche, something that can go in the laws of football. You know, a little nudge in the penalty box where they might get a chance. Ruben Diaz, obviously being Portuguese, they might try to overcome that and try to play on a little bit that some players play for Porto or played for Benfica in the past. So they might try to look at that, but it is difficult. There's no doubt about it. You know, you can only really see it going Man City's way.
Okay, Matt Holland setting it up for us then. Thank you for your perspective, Matt, and we will get back to you again on Wednesday to look back on the action and to see if you've called it right. Thanks once again.
Thank you very much.